So whether it's a girls' team or a boys' team, it seems like on most hockey teams there is always a goalie who is just a bit unique. Am I right, Darby?
They are.
Maybe individual, a little off. It really doesn't matter how you look at it. It's hard to argue that the goalie is often the player who stands out on a team. And sometimes the biggest difference he can make is off the ice.
Watch middle, watch middle. You got it, you got it.
Jason Bleistein has made all kinds of saves. But this past summer, Jason made the biggest save of his career.
He saved my life, and he seriously did. He did.
For 6 months, from October to April, Jason looks forward to this.
There you go. Nice job, Ryan.
I just, I like the camaraderie with the guys. I mean, we're like a, family. We've been together for a while.
The goalie position really is a family favorite, something Jason learned growing up in Pennsylvania.
I have a picture of my dad holding me when I was like 2, and I mean, since then I would go and, he played in an outdoor rink, and since then I'd stand there in the cold. It didn't get as cold as it does here, but I would stand outside. My toes were numb, my hands were numb, but I just love watching them, and I love watching the game, and it just kind of went from there.
When he's not on the ice, Jason works on computers. In September 2007, he started a new position at Fairview Health Services in the IT department. He remembers one day overhearing his new coworker, Brent, talking about his wife needing a kidney transplant.
He's like, oh, my wife needs a kidney. And I said, I'll do it. I have 2, and all I need is 1.
And I said, you're kidding. He said, no. And then it went on from there.
Jason had already done some research on the subject. He'd considered donating a kidney a few years ago, but he wasn't a match for the recipient. Little did he know, this time would be a perfect fit.
Hi, is your dad home?
Watching her work, it's easy to forget Shelley Nelson is completely blind. She's a nurse clinician at Fairview Southdale Hospital in Edina.
So you understand the instructions, you taken the medicine as directed?
Shelley helps people who are not feeling well, but she herself was sick. She'd had type 1 diabetes for 35 years.
Took my eyesight, killed my kidneys, gave me heart disease, leaves people with stroke, amputation. It kills people.
But her life was about to be saved by a goalie.
Lucky on that one, yeah.
During the summer of '07, Jason went through a series of tests and found out he was a match for Shelley. But she wasn't just waiting on a kidney, she also needed a pancreas, which had to come from a deceased. That meant the timing would make things very challenging.
Probably 1 in 7 trillion people would be willing to donate their kidney that way. Because it's much easier for him to say, yes, we'll do it on April 29th and, at 7:30 in the morning.
The waiting game began this past April, per Jason's request.
I didn't want it to interrupt hockey season, selfishly, admittedly.
That was one of Jason's stipulations. The other was that at least one of his parents needed to be around at the time of the surgery. Since his parents still live in Pennsylvania, Jason's mom flew to Minnesota to wait with her son.
We were both, frustrated, and Shelley was frustrated, and it got to be a lot. I mean, my life was on hold because my mom was living with me. And
the wait for a pancreas lasted 10 weeks.
You got sick of waiting, I got sick of waiting, and I thought it wasn't going to happen. And
then it did happen.
I got a call on Friday night, June 20th. It was about 7 o'clock, and
doctors told Shelley they had a 17-year-old pancreas for her. That night, she headed to the hospital. Ironically, Jason's dad had flown into town earlier that night, a planned trip with perfect timing. The surgery happened at 2 o'clock the next afternoon, June 21st, 2008. Everything went just as planned. Jason spent about 48 hours in the hospital and got a much-needed visit from his teammates. Shelley got a new pancreas, plus a kidney from Jason.
It's beyond comprehension to me that they can take a body part from one person and put it in another, and it's like it's theirs.
Doesn't care the race, the gender, the age, religious beliefs, none of that. Body parts aren't prejudiced in any way.
Since the double transplant, Shelley says she feels 105% better than before and no longer has type 1 diabetes. Jason healed quickly after the surgery and was back out on the ice when hockey season started this past October. He now shares a unique bond and a genuine friendship with Shelley.
He's just so damn cute. And I don't need to see to know that. Just look at him. See?
Okay, moving on.
Jason is a little uncomfortable with the attention. He says he didn't do anything heroic.
Oh, I'm just me. I mean, I'm just Jason, you know?
What a guy.
That's just,
He's a goalie who has made all kinds of saves. And according to Shelley, Jason has also saved her life.
He's just a man with a lot of integrity.
just go through life and, you know, speak silently and
Give away your kidney.
give away your kidney.
What a great couple of people there. Jason Bleistein and his Leftovers team, they're 10-1 this season. He has a .909 save percentage. And Darby, that team is called the Leftovers because they were the guys that were not chosen in the draft in that league. They were leftovers.
Wow.
They're 10-1. This guy is not a leftover, though.
He is not. He's a hero, and what a great story you did, Marnie. But, you know, Jason there, it's an ironic principle. I mean, here's a guy who loves to play hockey. He's a goaltender, and when he's working with his coworker and his wife is in a situation, he says, why not? Why wouldn't I? We're talking about a kidney. But you could see it on his face. You could see the whole situation. It's an ironic principle. Sometimes when you give, you really receive back. You could see how happy he was for her. He saved her life. But amazing story. Not too many people would do that, but incredible.
Yeah.
Great job by you on that.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, the incredible people were Jason and Shelley, and we thank them for helping us out with